You keep waiting until you feel like it. And you've noticed, quietly, that you never feel like it. That should have told you something by now. Instead, you decided the feeling was just running late. Not tonight, obviously. Tonight you're tired. But tomorrow you'll have slept, the week will be calmer, and you'll finally be in the right headspace for it. You've said this before. Recently. That's the trap. Not laziness. Not your phone. It's the belief that starting requires a particular feeling, and that the feeling shows up first, on its own, if you're patient enough. And it doesn't look like avoidance. That's the whole problem. Avoidance looks like someone face down on a couch. This looks like a reasonable adult waiting for reasonable conditions. There's a gym bag by your door. It's been there 9 days. You're not refusing to go. You're waiting for the morning you wake up actually wanting to. That morning has a terrible attendance record. There's a message you owe someone. You'll reply properly when you can give it real attention. 3 weeks later, it's still sitting there, and now the reply needs an apology bolted onto the front. And the thing you actually care about gets the worst of it. You'll open that file when your head is clear. Your head is never clear about the things that matter to you. So you prepare instead. A new notebook, a better app, a playlist. Reading about the thing is nearly the thing, and it carries none of the risk of finding out you're bad at it. Preparation is the most respectable way in the world to not start. Nobody interrupts someone organizing their desk, including you, especially you. And it works, briefly. You feel productive. You just don't feel any better about the actual task, because the actual task hasn't been touched in 11 days. Then you start assigning it to dates. Monday, the first of the month. After the trip, dates feel like decisions. They aren't. They're postponements with a calendar attached to make them look official. Meanwhile, the waiting isn't free. You're carrying it. Every single day you don't start, you spend a little energy remembering that you haven't started. That's a subscription you're paying for nothing. And the task grows while you wait. Untouched things inflate. A 20-minute email becomes an entire afternoon in your head, which means you now need to feel even readier than you did before. So the bar moves. On day 1, you needed a free hour. By day 12, you need a free hour, a good mood, and a guarantee you won't do it badly. Which means readiness isn't a line you're slowly approaching. It's a line that reverses away from you at exactly your walking speed. You could walk at it for years. Some people do. Try something. Finish this sentence honestly. I'll start when, and then say the rest out loud. Most people can't. Not because they're dodging the answer. Because there isn't one in there. If the answer is when I feel like it, you've set a condition nobody can check, nobody can schedule, and nobody can hold you to. Convenient. Probably not an accident. Now, sometimes the condition is genuinely real. You actually do need the file from someone else. You genuinely can't paint a wall when you don't own any paint. That's not the same thing. Here's the tell. A real condition can be checked by somebody other than you. The paint arrives Thursday is a condition. When I'm in the right space for it, is a mood with paperwork. Now the part that stings a bit. You have already proved the feeling isn't required. You've done this exact thing before, badly, reluctantly, on some gray Tuesday you didn't enjoy at all. And it was fine. Not inspired. Fine. And then you filed that day under somehow got through it instead of under evidence, which is where it actually belonged. You've got years of that evidence. You just don't count it. Because you only notice motivation when it turns up loudly. Quiet, ordinary, grim-faced starting doesn't register to you as starting at all. So your whole model of yourself is built from the rare, memorable days. The one where you woke up charged and worked for 4 hours straight. Those days are real. They're just not a plan. So let's look at what's actually happening in the moment you say you're not ready. You're making a forecast. You're predicting how the next 20 minutes will feel, and then obeying that prediction. And the forecast says, heavy dread, straight through. Grim at the start, grim in the middle, grim at the end, no gaps. That's the number you're refusing on. Not the task, the number. People are reliably bad at this. Researchers who study effective forecasting keep finding the same thing. We overestimate how intense a bad feeling will be, and we badly overestimate how long it lasts. The real curve has a different shape. Dread spikes hardest just before you begin, then falls away once you're moving. The very worst moment is the one you keep choosing to stand in. You already know this from everything else. The cold pool, the phone call you have to make, the dentist. The 3 minutes before are consistently worse than the thing itself. But you never check the forecast against the actual weather. You start, it becomes tolerable, and you update nothing. Next time the same grim prediction shows up carrying the same authority. Which brings us to the thing you've half suspected since the first line of this video. Motivation is not the fuel you need to start. It is mostly what starting produces. You've been sitting in a cold car waiting for the heater to come on before you'll turn the key. The heater runs off the engine. The engine needs the key. That's the whole mistake. Action first, feeling second. That isn't a slogan on a mug. It's the order these things actually happen in, and nearly every workable approach to changing behavior is built on that order. It also explains why Get Motivated advice fails so consistently. It asks you to manufacture on demand the one thing that was only ever going to arrive as a byproduct. And it explains the loop you're stuck in. No feeling, so no start. No start, so no feeling. It's airtight. It's been running for years on one wrong assumption about the order. Now, none of this means you should be overriding yourself constantly. Some nights the tiredness is real and the honest answer is bed. Starting is not a moral obligation at 11 p.m. And if the flatness has been sitting there for months, across everything you use to enjoy, that's a different conversation, and not one to have with a doodle on the internet. But most of what you call not ready isn't that. It's an ordinary, medium-sized reluctance about one specific task at one specific hour. And it is not going to resolve itself by Thursday. So, for things you can do tonight, all small, none of them ask you to feel any particular way about anything, which is more or less the entire point of them. 1. Make the word ready say something. Write this down. I'll start when blank, and I'll know that's true because blank. If the second blank stays empty, cross the whole sentence out. The test is whether a stranger could verify it. Once the kids are in bed. Once the invoice arrives. If it can only be confirmed by consulting your own mood, it was never a condition. 2. Test the forecast on paper. Before you start, write down how bad you expect the next few minutes to feel, 1 to 10. Then start. 5 minutes in, write the real number. That's the whole exercise. No discipline involved. You're just collecting evidence about your own predictions, which is something you have somehow never once done in your entire adult life. Do it for a week and the numbers get embarrassing. Predicted 8, actual 3. Predicted 9, actual 4. After enough of those, the dread stops sounding like a reliable witness. 3. Work out what you're actually waiting to be ready for. 9 times out of 10 it isn't doing the thing. It's doing the thing well. Those are very different cues. So drop the standard for the first 10 minutes deliberately. Write the bad paragraph. Do the ugly draft. Start in the middle, out of order, on the most boring part of it. Bad work is editable. Nothing is not editable. And you can't feel competent at something you've spent 4 months carefully not touching. Competence is downstream too. 4. Change the sentence. When you catch yourself thinking, I'm not ready, swap it for, I don't want to start yet. Same information. Dramatically less authority. Because not ready sounds like a fact about the world. I don't want to yet sounds like what it actually is, a preference. You're allowed to have one. You're also allowed to overrule it. You'll still not want to. That doesn't go away, and anyone telling you it does is selling something. The difference is you stop treating not wanting to as a verdict. And the first few minutes will be roughly as unpleasant as advertised. Nobody's claiming ignition feels good. Cold engines rattle. That rattle is not proof you were right to sit there waiting. So, give ready a testable definition or bin it. Log your predicted dread against the real one. Lower the quality bar for the first 10 minutes. And rename the feeling accurately. You thought the feeling was running late. It isn't late. It was never scheduled to arrive first. It's waiting for you in the second half of the sentence, after the verb. You will not feel ready tonight. You'll feel roughly the way you feel right now, which, as it happens, is how most things get started by most people, most of the time. That's what this channel is for. The ordinary machinery behind why you do what you do, explained without anyone shouting at you. I'm Theo. Go do 12 bad minutes of something and see what turns up.